All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Here we are, New York session, market open, and we are tumbling. So, welcome back, welcome back. All right, let's see what we got today. Now, those of you that have watched yesterday, had another not so good trading day yesterday. Went pretty deep into drawdown, so I just decided to reset the challenge, start fresh, and to go from there. So you'll see that my account here is reset, and we are going to. That's interesting. Uh, we're going to look for some good entries today. All right. So you can see yesterday, we actually did continue to the upside. Okay, continuing to make higher highs here. We pushed right up to the top of that area of imbalance that I spoke about yesterday in my recap video. I'll just put that back here real quick. Oops. Would help if I click on it first. So we talked about this area of imbalance here that we came into in the beginning of the day, um, right in the morning there, and we kind of pushed back out pretty quickly. But we ended up holding, and we ended up pushing right back through it, and made new highs yesterday, pushing right to the top of that range. And today we are, and we got rejected basically also here. So today we are pushing um, low, but I'm wondering if we're just retesting the tops here before we continue to push higher. So let's see what we get this morning here at market open. And we are in a pretty clear downtrend. You can see yesterday the rejection that we got off of the top of that area of imbalance there. Pretty clear, clean rejection there at the end of the day, which is continuing into today also. But like I said, we have some support here, which we're kind of bouncing off of right now. So I'm wondering if we're just, you know, retesting these lows here before we continue to push up to our next resistance, which would be right around 20,000. It's actually a pretty nice move there. So let's see uh, what we continue to get here. We just retested the bottom here, which we were um, bouncing off of before market open here. Pretty strong support here before market open. Market open blew right through it and come back up. We're looks like retested here. Yeah, well, looks like we're going to have some more downside here. We shall see. Yep, it was actually hmm, had an area of imbalance right there that we came right into, tested, and pushed right back out of. We kind of missed that there. Looks like we're going to keep pushing down. Strong push there. So, where are we headed? Are we headed to yesterday's lows? Let's just mark that out. Technically, right there. Yesterday's lows, and then we'll also do yesterday's highs. So let's see if we're running to yesterday's lows here to get a bounce. This is a pretty strong sell-off here, right off the rip here. And we missed that. All right. So we missed our first possible entry, which was here. I kind of moved quickly. Also, I was in the larger time frames when this happened here, but this could have been a good entry here. Market open, we pushed right past this little support that we were having before market open, came back up, retested, and then very, very strong push to the downside still. We're approaching yesterday's lows. Let's see what kind of price action we get off of that. Another area of imbalance left behind there. Pretty strong 15-minute candle so far. All right, continued downside. Still making lower lows here. Still progress to the downside so far. And again, we're coming right up to yesterday's lows. Looks like we're actually gaining some momentum here. Price action. All right, looks like we are getting a little bounce off of the previous day lows. I am going to stick with shorts today, though, I believe, because today's trend is down. And if you look again, we filled our imbalance that was on the 4 hour. That's what this push is here. And then we pushed right back out of it or through it here. And now we're pushing back out. This is a very strong 15-minute candle so far. If we hold here, we got about 2 minutes left for this candle to close. So I would still be inclined to look for shorts. Um, we'll see. I'd like to come back up into this area of imbalance here if we can, and then maybe take a short. We got to be careful because if we do push back or push through yesterday's lows, our 19.5 support is right after that. Um, now, we've been pushing past, and swinging around this area here for over a week now. So I wouldn't say that, you know, we're going to definitely hold here, but I would say we get some chop here before we make a decision on which direction we're going to continue going if we make it down to this 19.5 area again. But let's see here. We're starting to get some pushback here. We got a minute and a half left to this 15-minute candle. Let's see what we get here. We could just get a bounce off of yesterday's lows. Let's see what happens here. Oof. Talk about a strong push right past yesterday's lows, and we are headed for that 19.5 area. Right off the rip, first thing in the morning, first 15-minute candle. We made a huge move right back down to our 19.5 area. So, again, like I spoke about in my recap video yesterday, we had an area of imbalance up here on the 4 hour chart that we actually continued to push up into yesterday. Got a rejection right off the top of it, and we are continuing our push down out of that area of imbalance now today. This is a very, very strong push, and there you go. Very solid candle there. It looks like we definitely got some momentum to the downside. I would say we're going to get some chop around this 19.5 area. If you look, every time we hit this area, we do get some chop. Okay, so this would really not be the place to particularly get into a trade. We can scroll back. You can see that every time we've hit this line, we chop around it for a little bit. Um, so let's uh, let's see how this plays out here. We could get a bounce here. We could chop and then continue lower. We could just push right past and continue lower. Lots of things can happen here. And we have now we're about only 15 minutes away from our 1 hour and 4 hour candle to close here. So the 1 hour again looks very, very bearish here. But again, we could just be bouncing here. We'll see. This is the first time that in the last week anyway, that we've pushed past our 19.5 area and continued to the upside, almost making it to our 20,000 mark. 4 hour looks very bearish also. So again, as you can see here, this is what I missed yesterday. And what a story that plays, right? I wish I had seen this uh, yesterday. Got to keep my eyes open. Um, but you can see how we pushed it. We continued into it yesterday. We made a push right to the top, peaked outside of it, but got rejected. Um, and then today, now we're continuing our downside. So pretty strong rejection out of this area of imbalance so far, to be quite honest with you. So we could, like I said, get some chop at this 19.5 area as we do here, and continue lower today. And this might be the liquidity needed to actually make new lows. We'll see. So let's bounce back over here. Let's actually mark this out. We got a little area of imbalance here. So we could actually come up, retest lows of previous day, which is inside of this area of imbalance. And if we get a push out of it, this is just a tough place to take a trade, though, because you don't know how well this is going to hold as support. We don't know how well this is going to hold as resistance. This was from first thing this morning, right? Is that market open right there? Yeah. We had a nice play right here. We missed that. I missed that. I don't know why I say we. We have another area of imbalance here that has not been filled. This could work for later. We have a decent one here, but this is a rough one, to be honest. If you're going to take a trade sticking with the trend today so far, maybe, but you have no idea how well this is going to hold here, support. It's a pretty strong rejection there. Mm, yeah, see, we're gonna get support here. Whether it holds or not is a different story, but for right now, again, like I said, we're gonna get some chop around this area here. So I'd say honestly, we wait for 10 o'clock, see how the 1 hour and 4 hour candle close. If we get very strong bearish candles with those two, um, then I can see us pushing through this area here. But yeah, see, we are getting pushback here. But again, as to be expected, right? I'm gonna wait. So if we wanted to, we'd have to wait for this candle to close, but get a little bit ahead of ourselves here. It almost aligns with the 1 hour there. Obviously, we can't say anything, can't say that completely without having the next candle form here, but it would appear that it may align with this 1 hour candle also. So if this holds here and we don't push up higher here, could have an area of imbalance here that we might be able to use. Yeah, we're still holding. This would be a tough place to get into a trade. Still making progress to the downside. Slightly, but it's still progress. I got about 2.5 minutes left here. All right, last minute here. Mm. All right, it's going to be a strong close on all accounts here. 15, the 1 hour, the 4 hour. Yeah, we're going to get our continued push down now. Would still really like to see a pullback into that imbalance area here, maybe. But we got some momentum to the downside today, so I don't know if that's going to happen, to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, this is going to stay relevant until we fill it, but at what point? Hmm. Could be something there. All right. Yeah, I'd like to see some kind of a retracement. Definitely like to see some kind of retracement. See if we can find an entry. A little retest of the 19.5 area there. Hmm. Like I said, chop around this 19.5 area for a little bit. Hard to make a decision on, you know, direction here. Overall direction is still down, but would really like to see um, a retracement up into this area somewhere at least. Yeah, we still have this one here too that we could utilize. Whole market's red, all of the Nasdaq. Tesla's down 6%, Amazon over 2, Nvidia 3.5, Palantir's 5, Google's 3.5, all negative. Meta's down 3.6, Netflix down 2.5, Microsoft's down, AMD's down, Micron's down. Red, red, red. Hmm, yeah, I just don't know if we had enough there. I mean, I guess. Hmm, Mm, I don't know if we're gonna get our pullback here yet. It's not bad. Getting some decrease in volume here though, slightly. Yeah, I want to see a decent pullback. I think that's the smartest move. We need something. We need either a good pullback into one of these areas here, or we need a break below and a strong continuation to the downside, and then we can look for an entry down there. But I think without one of those, we're just going to keep dancing around this area here like we do every time we reach this zone here. You know, we hit this line and we dance around it. It's kind of what we've been doing almost every time. I think we definitely still have some downside. Just, where do we get in? That's the question. So, would like to get in one of these areas. Doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen. Hmm. Still red. Tesla's down now over 6%. Amazon's over 2.5%. Google's over 4%. Meta's over 4.25. Nvidia's just over 3.5% negative. Pretty red day. Pretty red day. We don't have any other news coming out. Mhm. Hmm. Definitely getting some resistance here, but still dancing around here. There we go. Maybe not. Still dancing around here. That's what makes this so difficult to get into here. Well, it's quite the boring moment. We missed this first trade, which was the trade of the day here, I believe. Um, which was as soon as the market opened, New York session, we blew right past this little area of support here. And we did leave behind a little area of imbalance that we filled and then we pushed right back out of and continued on. I mean, in hindsight, also, though, I mean, where would have my entry have been? Because I wouldn't have got in on this candle here. This candle was a strong push out. It would have left a pretty decent sized stop loss area. But I mean, we pushed. We easily could have gotten a 2 to 1 out of that still. And now we're just bouncing around our 19.5. I mean, below it, right? We're below. Well, we're bouncing around it. Pretty much staying below it. Mm. But still, we have these areas of imbalance here that will need to be filled eventually. We got half of this one. So this one's not so much, I'd rather see this larger one because this is on the 15-minute time frame, which also aligns with the 1 hour time frame. So this one here is nice. And so if we fill up into this area here, which is like the halfway point, that would be a nice trade. If we showed signs of resistance up in here and pushing back out, that would be a good trade there. But I don't think that we're gonna get that today. I think we're messing around here. I mean, we might get a strong push up. I don't know. We shall see. All right, I'll be back in a few. Okay, we're back. So we popped back into this area of imbalance here. This is the one that broke previous day low. We popped in slightly, had a decent push out of it. Left behind this little tiny imbalance here, which again broke our support here. So let's see what we get. Big picture is down, in my opinion. So I was just talking about that area of imbalance that you had caught yesterday, which was here. We got rejected out of that yesterday, or in it, and we're continuing huge push to the downside at market open this morning for a New York session. So, I mean, we could go either way. That's the problem with where we are here. And we're at this support again, and we can go either way. But I think we're looking a little bearish. The other problem is we have FOMC tomorrow. So, quite honestly, we could just consolidate around this area, which we do a lot, until tomorrow. We've already had a huge push in the Nasdaq. This is a big move. So, and we have a couple of areas of imbalance, especially in the 15-minute chart, which aligns with the 1 hour chart, which also just so happens to align with the 4 hour chart, depending on how the current candle closes, which we still have a lot of time here. But, you know, so in reality, I would really like to see a price pull back into this zone, but I don't know that we have any more downside today because we've already made this huge move, which is a pretty big move for the Nasdaq. Not that we haven't made larger moves, but the question is why. I don't even know why we got this sell off today. There wasn't really any kind of news. The data that came out today was housing starts, which came in much better than expected, way more than expected, and building permits, which came in right at expectations. So you would think that having more housing starts, we were expecting 1.38 million, we got 1.5. That's a pretty decent jump up. Um, I would say that's good for the economy, right? We need housing, uh, especially with the interest rates and stuff being so high still. To have a decent jump up like that, I would think would be good news. So I'm not quite sure why we had this sell off today. It could just be FOMC tomorrow. We have been gravitating to this 19.5 zone for the last over a week now, and we have FOMC tomorrow, and it just might be where price wants to be until then. So it's not really any great setup here. And the problem with even taking something like this here is I don't know that we have much more downside today. Yeah. So here's that area of imbalance that I missed yesterday. Came in, completely filled it yesterday, got rejected before the end of the day. Started today off with an opposite direction back out of it. And the market open, we just fell. And now since 10 o'clock, so for an hour, we've just been right here, right around this 19.5 zone. 19.3 and 19.4. Where are you seeing that from? What chart? I marked out one on the day chart here. We have this area of imbalance left from a while back that it looks like we're aspiring to get to, which also aligns with the 19,000 support. Um, you said 19.3 and 19.4. Just hit the top of it. Um, what time frame are you seeing that in? Even the 15-minute looks bearish, but I don't know. I don't know if we're going to go any further. I mean, maybe. Last Thursday, Friday. Hmm. Oh, are you talking about this here? That gap? But this would have already filled here, right? So where are we? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I can change that in Trade Locker, so I can't see what you're looking at. That makes sense. So it's one of the downfalls with Trade Lockers. They use Trading View charts, but they don't have all of the um, abilities that Trading View has, I guess. So I can't change whether I can see pre-market or not. It just is what it is. This is a UK company, Trade Locker. Um, so yeah, I can mark out the days, um, but I can't see those gaps on here. So yeah, I mean, it's possible. Um, well, so we filled this area of imbalance. I just don't think I want to take that risk. If FOMC wasn't tomorrow, we didn't have anything else, I'd say maybe, but it's a pretty big move to the downside here. We're talking 19.6 to 19.4. That's a pretty big move. Yeah, maybe. I can't change this chart here though. This is all I have through Trade Locker. This is one of the downsides. One of the other downsides that a lot of people keep asking for is the ability to do multiple uh, windows so that you can change, so you can be watching two different time frames at the same time. Trade Locker doesn't have that ability yet. They say that they're going to add it, but it's way down on their list of things to do. Because I like to have other charts open, um, just to watch the different time frames. Like I would have the 15-minute open right next to this. Um, and I do use TradingView, and I do have TradingView open, and I have a 4-hour chart open um, next to me here. The problem is, for whatever reason, I can't find the specific chart because you can pick all kinds of different where the charts come from, where the data comes from. There's all kinds of different places that you can choose for one particular um, stock or whatever. And I can't find one that aligns perfectly with whatever this one is in TradeLocker. So it's always off, right? So in TradeLocker, um, the 1 hour and the 4 hour candles close at 10 a.m., which is aligns with pretty much every other US, uh, broker. But for some reason, I can't find one on TradingView that does that. So, for example, I'm watching the 4-hour chart in TradingView here, the NASDAQ 100, and this 4-hour candle is about to close in 10 seconds, right? This one has already closed, which is a little weird. It's off a little bit, but what are you gonna do? It still gives me kind of the idea. I look at the 4-hour chart just to see the overall trend. So it's not a huge deal. At the end of the day, I could just, switch through here, right? Yeah, I don't know. We might not be doing much more today just because we got FOMC. So here's the next hour candle there. Didn't really do anything, so we sat here in the same place for an hour. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Even if this pushes lower though, how much further are we going to go? Unless there's some real reason why we want to go to the other end of this trading range, um, which I don't know why. I don't know. We do have this area of imbalance down here that we've touched twice, I think, but we haven't gone into it. Yeah, once here, once here. I mean, are we looking for that today? I mean, we've made moves that big before. I guess it's possible. I would love to see red. That's what I'm saying, right? Let's get a rally up into these areas here. Let's fill some imbalances and then let the floor drop, right? Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. That's what I was waiting for. doing anything right here is very, very risky, you know? So we mark the things out, but ultimately the trade was up here this morning that I missed. The trade was up here. First thing in the morning, we blew right through this support here that we, double tapped pre-market. Very, very strong push right through that. Very strong close. Left an area of imbalance here. We came right up, filled the entire thing, and pushed right back out of it. So it would have been a wider stop because the entry would have been here based on my rules. This bearish candle out, but even that, if you look at that, if we took that, even if my entry was here, stop loss would have been there. You know, still 4 to 1. Even if we just took it down to the support and got out there, 3 to 1. That was the trade right there. That was the one. That happened in what, 5 minutes? The first 5 minutes of the New York session gave us the opportunity of the day. Yeah. So let's see. We made new lows here. But we're stalling. I don't know. So even with this push down here, we had a decrease in volume on the way down. So I don't like that. That's the thing. How much more downside do we have today anyway? I'd like to think that we'd leave some downside for FOMC tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, that looks nice on the 15 here. It looks nice. I can see us moving down to this level here, I guess, would be the next level if we continue pushing. Hmm. I wonder if we really do want to end up at the other end of our range here for tomorrow. I wonder if that's where market wants to start from, you know? Maybe it's optimistic and it wants to leave more room to the upside. Who knows? I mean, at the end of the day, we're not going to get a change in uh, our Fed rate. Let's go see if that has changed any. So yesterday we were at 100%, no cut. That was the number yesterday. Now we're at 98%. We've been sitting at 98% for a while. So we're at 98%, no Fed cut tomorrow. Let me swing over to this one. Yeah. 98% no cut tomorrow. Still pause. And we're actually, for May, we're actually climbing again. 2 days, what's today? Tuesday, Friday, I think we were at like 73%. Yesterday, we bumped up to 80%. And now we're sitting at 82.3% of no cut in May as well. This is still a ways away, so this could change a lot still. But right now, the market is pricing in, right now, pretty much no cuts for the next 3 months. And then we get into June. And then we have some, again, all this can change dramatically depending on what happens. But that's the outlook right now. So I don't know. I don't know what we're reaching for here before FOMC tomorrow. I don't think there was any kind of news. I didn't see any news about any tweets or anything from the president, you know. I didn't hear anything about tariffs today. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. But I mean, we've made some recovery in a lot of things. Palantir was down over 6%. Now it's almost break even. Nvidia was down almost 6% up break even. Tesla was down. Is that break even? I don't know. So while these are climbing, we're still pushing down in the Nasdaq. I don't think so. Right? I don't like how that is working out there, unless we're going to get a huge dump today. I don't think that we're going to continue pushing further down. You know, maybe little bit by little bit, but I don't know. Let me just tell you. Let me take a look at Nvidia's chart here, just for ha-has. Yeah, I mean, Nvidia's chart looks pretty bearish too. I don't know. Today's one of those days. Hard to figure it out. And again, with FOMC tomorrow, you know, I think we gravitate in this area. Maybe we make a run up to one of these imbalances today. Nice setup here. But again, how much more downside do we have? That's the problem. So could be a lot more. Should I not even care what tomorrow is? Yeah, I don't like the way this looks now. It's not really good setups. We've peaked outside of this area now twice. This was a nice setup too, but again, I didn't take it because how much downside did we have here? If we were going to even get this. You almost needed this as confirmation before you got into anything in this area, I feel like. Yep, I'll leave that there. So this is that 15-minute you can see we left behind on that initial push down from New York session open. It's quite the push. So we have all of this area of imbalance that eventually will need to be filled. Doesn't mean it's going to happen today or tomorrow. Um, yeah. So yeah, we look on the 1 hour. In the 1 hour, you can actually extend both ends of this area of imbalance. This is the 15-minute one here. Not that that really matters, honestly. You want it to fill at least half of that anyway. Then our 4 hour, same thing. I mean, it matches unless this candle decides to make a run to the top. And we could, honestly. I mean, we have, you know, 2 hours and 45 minutes left to this candle here in the 4 hour. So we could end up coming back up here within that time frame. Yeah, I would really, I mean, I think price needs to come up here and respect in here and then show signs of continued downside. I don't know that that's going to happen today. Honestly, I don't know that the market's really going to move much more from where we are in this area here because we have FOMC tomorrow. So, so we might get some volatility tomorrow morning. Um, just to kind of figure out where price wants to be before 2 p.m. when that those numbers come out for a rate decision. Which, again, market's expecting no cut this month and in May. So that's what we're pricing in. Gold looks to be making, is that a double top, you mean? Let's take a look. Gold. What are we looking at? 4 hour? Oh, gold's making new highs here. Makes sense when there's uncertainty in the economy. money flows into things like gold. It's safer. The minute that we get good news, though, or some kind of event that tells the market no recession, good things are coming, you'll see this come down for sure. But I think we're a ways away from that. I think we got some time before that happens. Things got to settle down. Mm, mm, mm. Let's add this to the favorites. All right. Yeah. Hmm. It's interesting. We got that sell off in gold the same time we did in the NASDAQ, except gold recovered almost immediately, but then sold off again. Hmm. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing. Yeah, we're at 930 here, had that same sell off. A little bit more of a bounce though, and now we're doing the same thing. I think everything's waiting for FOMC tomorrow. Yeah, same kind of thing. So Nasdaq didn't have any recovery. We sold off, consolidated, a little bit of push more, and now we're having a nice slow come back into this area. I think we stay around here. Even if we did swing up here, I think if we ended up coming back down, we again hold in this area here. I don't know that we would get any kind of huge movement the rest of the day, at least today. Tomorrow, different story. We can get some kind of shock or whatever. I don't, I think it's unlikely, but there's not any other news tomorrow, I don't think, besides FOMC. Let me see. Oh, we have mortgage data, but meh, it doesn't really. I wouldn't foresee any kind of huge difference in that anyway. 30-year mortgage rate. Um, that's not a huge hit to the market anyway. Yeah, some oil and gas data, but the big hitters is the interest rate decision and then our obviously the press conference afterwards. Always fun to watch, and I will be live for both of those tomorrow. So I'll be live in the morning. We'll see what we can catch if we can catch anything. And then we'll come back and I'll be live in the afternoon. I'll be on at like 1:55 so that we can catch the market reaction for the rate decision. And then we'll hang out and watch Mr. Powell come out and throw the market around as he does usually. Who knows? He could come out, very dovish or very hawkish, one or the other. He does a pretty good job of dancing around certain questions. So that'll be tomorrow will be interesting to watch the market during the press conference, and we'll see what the market does during um, that rate decision, which again we're expecting no cut. So if we get no cut tomorrow, which I don't see why we wouldn't, how much is the market actually going to move? That's what we're expecting, right? So we shall see. Hmm. If you guys were looking for your area of imbalances, or FVGs as most people call them, would you mark this one out or the one that I did? I tend to like to mark the one that broke structure, but you can say that this one did also. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Which one would you guys mark out or prefer to place trades off of? Mhm. So today, supposedly, there's a phone call between Trump and Putin. Um, this article is claiming markets are waiting to hear the news from that about a potential ceasefire. And then NVIDIA has some kind of conference in California. I don't think that that's really what the market's selling off on, but I can see the market getting ready for Fed tomorrow. And this Trump Putin phone call might be an interesting reason as to why we get this sell off too. Yeah, that was thanks for that. That was the question, is which one would you prefer? Would you mark out and use um the first one here or this one? So I typically like to look for a break in structure, and then I look for the one that was after the break in structure. Um but that's I could be completely wrong with that, because there is this one here too, um that may work better. Obviously, in this case here, we're just inching our way back up to our 19.5 zone here, but just in general. So that was just the question that I had there, is which fair value gap would you mark out slash use? So you would prefer this one here, then, is what you're saying. And then, yeah, would this be considered an order block here off of this candle, which is kind of what we're in right now? I've never really messed around with order blocks. I've read about them a little bit, but so would you mark that out as the order block based on, so you have your large push breaking structure, so your previous candle, right? Is that how you mark out order blocks? Ah, I see. So this whole structure here where we consolidated is what you're saying could be an order block, right? I mean, that makes sense. But yeah, I agree. You know, you wouldn't take any trades in that area, right? Do, do, do. So this one looks good then. So let me back up here then. Would you take this as an area of imbalance instead of this one? Okay, that makes sense. Oh boy. I don't think we're going to get anything today. Like I said, we missed the trade right here. This was the one. Yep. Beautiful setup. This one here would have been really nice too if we weren't right on top of this support. Nice area of imbalance that broke previous day lows. So that's this line here. Came back up and retested those previous day lows within the area of imbalance, pushed right out. That was a nice trade. That could have been a nice trade too. Again, if we weren't sitting right on top of this support. Oh well. All right. I think I'm gonna call it for today. We're kind of getting into that time zone that I don't really take any more trades afterwards unless something really, really good pops up. But um I think I'll just wait for tomorrow. I'm not anticipating taking any trades tomorrow either, to be honest with you. I would expect some volatility in the morning. Um, maybe in the first couple of hours there, we'll get some weird movements. Just because we have FOMC, once that rate decision comes out, we get some type of movement for uh, a couple seconds there. And then I don't trade during the press conference because the market does weird things depending on what Mr. Powell says. So, but we'll be here live just so that we can watch the market reaction, talk about it and listen to what Daddy Powell has to say. So I think that's going to be it for me today. My little recap video will be short and sweet today because we didn't take anything, but we'll talk about all this that we left behind here, and that'll be it. So I will be on live tomorrow morning, same time, right before market open, and then I will be back on at 1:55 p.m. Eastern time for rate decision. We'll get the reaction of the market for the rate decision, and then we'll hang out through the press conference. Press conference starts at 2:30. I'll just be on for that whole thing, and yeah, that's always fun to watch. So um, I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Don't do anything that I would do. Just kidding. Just kidding. We're gonna do this one right. We're gonna do this one right. We're gonna take our time. We're gonna get it done. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate all of you. We'll see you tomorrow morning.